Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. and, of course, it replays in its entirety on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. And my sidekick, Andrew.
Well, good morning.
And we're taping another unusual day. We back to Tuesday. Last week we had to tape on Monday because our studio where we do the taping was closed on Tuesday, Wednesday.
On Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
And Christmas Day.
But this week we're taping on Tuesday because this is New Year's Eve. So we better just wish everybody while we're thinking about it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you. And I guess we like to hope that it brings you a good, healthy New Year. Very important, especially when you get up into my age group. But then the young ones die, the babies die.
We used to look like Baby New Year, but we don't look like that no more. We look like last year now.
Well, we hopefully we mellow in real slowly. It's been a good year.
Excellent year.
We've had some good programs. I'm sure we thought they were good. We hope that you think they're good, and you keep tuning in to the show and encouraging your friends, your relatives to watch it when you can. We appreciate that. That's the best way to get the word out on our program is actually by word of mouth. And you all have done a good job. I'm been on the air, started off on radio in 1976. This is my 38th year of doing the Bobby Dupre Show, and had no idea that I'd make it past the first week, much less 38 years. So around January the 15th is the actual day I say I started. Can't remember the exact date, but it was around the middle of January. So around January 15th, we'll be starting our 39th year of the Bobby Dupre Show. And we've stuck to pretty much a basic theme, and that's good news about our communities, Acadiana, the state of Louisiana, and we get out into other areas, but we're not an authority on those areas, so we stay closer to home.
We only have authority while we're there.
Yeah.
When we're there, we act like we know everything.
We're not an authority here either. But I met a lady, took a picture with the lady. I think you know where I'm going to. We don't have a lot of pictures.
Here.
We took this lady. I was given iPad for Christmas by Vicky, and this picture here, we're at AT&T here in Opelousas, and packed. I mean, when I say
getting it
packed,
activated to get on the internet via cellular.
I was like 13th in line, but they really move them quick. They're fast, and they bring in a lot of people. I want to comment and compliment them. And this lady came up to me. She says, "Aren't you Mr. Bobby Dupre on television?" And she just looked at me like that, and I said, "It's hard for me to deny that. Yes, I am." She says, "Well, I enjoy your program. What about that little man? Where is he?" Well, I said, we
don't travel together all the time.
We don't travel together all the time.
Sometimes we do, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, we do. And
I'm on the road team.
I said, "I want to ask you something. You walked over here to introduce yourself, and me introducing myself to you. I said, why do you watch the program?" "Oh," she said, "it's easy." I said, "It's easy?" She said, "Yeah, you always talking good." She says, "Everything, wherever you go, it's good. Whoever you know, it's good." I said, "Well, I just look for the good." And I said, "You watch the program regularly?" "Since you started." She says, "I've been watching it." And I'm speaking of Miss Berna Malvo. She was getting some work done. I think she was maybe purchasing a new telephone. She left before we left, but I hear that same story all over, is that we just talk about good things. And she says, "Do you ever stay home?" I said, "Well, yeah, I stay home." She said, "Well, you're always traveling." She said, "I like those stories about the pictures and the stories go good together. And that kind of reminds me of the new book that was published locally here. Philip Andrepon, Pat Morrow, and Warren Perrin from the first two are from Opelousas, of course. Warren Perrin is an attorney over in Lafayette. They came out with a new book, St. Landry Parish. And what I like about the book, and if I ever get around to writing the book, it's going to be good things, and also that's all they have in here, and lots of photos. Right. The photos tell a story, and you can tell that lady right there and I are happy. We're having a happy moment right now. You can see that, and that's all I look for when I go out and travel, and wherever I am, if I can find someone that'll sit with me for 5 minutes. And I still feel bad about the two priests and the lady from Mandeville that I
didn't get a call back.
Didn't get a call back. I was hoping she would have called back and given me the story again. But we'll attend 7:30 Mass real soon over at St. Charles College, and we'll see the priest, and then they can tell me the story again, and that lady's name. I felt bad about that. I mean, it's not the only one that's happened, but this was recent, and she had really written me a nice story about the two priests, which I kind of relayed that.
Yeah, also, our friend Greg Thibodeau works in the front office there for the Jesuits. He's married to Nancy Thibodeau, works at Imperial Fire and Casualty. That's all. She's a
started with us many years ago.
She's a Briscoe from Church Point is what Nancy's maiden name is.
Yep,
so.
Briscoe, and her daddy worked for Cody Dupre at Canal Refining
There
Company.
you go. And I went to college with her brother, Jimmy Briscoe.
Cool. So, now, you see,
we all together now. I can't tell all those stories what we did back in college, but the statute of limitations has run out. There's nothing we can be arrested for now.
We need to move on. A few days back, in fact, on December the 9th, services were held for the death of Dudley Mouton Jr. Don't think I covered that last week. I meant to cover it a few weeks ago, and never got around to it. But there's a story here. He sold me my first computer forms. He was working for a company out of Lafayette, but it was a big major company, and
Quaisner, was that what the company was? I think that was the big one?
No, not the company he was working for locally.
All right.
Copy camera, you know, one of those. We buy a copy camera, that's why I remember that name. But he was working, and I needed some forms to go into the premium financing business. That was my first.
Very thick, complicated forms.
And he was sitting up front, and I didn't know the name of the company yet. So I got on the phone and I called R.M. Cochran, Dick Cochran, in Baton Rouge, and he and Charlotte Smith, his right-hand lady, put the two of them on the phone, and we got to going. And I saw QPAC, that was Commercial Union Premium Acceptance Company. I said, wait a while, if I put a O, UPAC, it'll be OPAC.
Because you own Opelousas Underwriters at that time, OU.
That's correct.
So you put the OU PAC in the front.
OPAC came up with that, and that was a good name because that was the same time that OPEC Nation was big in that oil. They controlled the price of oil.
Right.
You remember OPEC? They finally broke that up.
When you thought of OPEC, you thought about money.
Money.
So when you thought about OPEC, it was money too.
Money too. So anyhow, Dudley and his family, I apologize for being a few days late, but it's a good story. But the smile you see there, that's the smile he always had. And one other person who died Christmas Eve, December the 24th, a person locally well-known, Carol Glasscock, age 79. Well, Carol Glasscock, a lot of you remembered, but if you say Voodoo Glasscock, then you said the name.
Sure.
And I called his sister, Lois Glasscock Boanny, Judge Kenny Boanny's wife. Lois and I graduated from school. Voodoo was a little ahead of us. He's 79, we 76. Still 76, a few more days.
A few more days.
A few more days. I'm hanging on there. And then I called Nutsie Quirk and couldn't find out. Something tells me that Voodoo attended our last boxing, that he came with Nutsie Quirk and Jerry Ducharme and others. But anyhow, he was a state champion, Voodoo was, and he had a style. He would do like this, and then he'd wind up. and
showboat.
and showboating,
Right.
and won state. No, he was good. He had good eyesight. He could determine where to hit them.
Right.
And when they were going to throw a punch,
Floyd
he'd
Mayweather
throw that,
Jr. likes to
he'd
do
throw
that jab and wind that hand.
And wind that hand. But anyhow, good little story about a person that have not seen a whole lot lately, but I always thought highly about. A couple of sponsors.
Oh, I'll do that. Carl's Thrifty Way, all your medicinal needs. Carl's Thrifty Way can help you with prescription medication, over-the-counter medication. Right now, you know, it's still Christmas, so you got plenty of opportunities to go get those last-minute Christmas gifts. Maybe you got family coming in a little bit later. Maybe you're only going to see them. You know, a lot of people, they celebrate Christmas on New Year's. You know, that's the only time all the family can get together. So
because of jobs, offshore jobs and all of that.
When you got extended families, maybe mama and the grandkids in one spot, and the great grandma does the cooking on the New Year's. So anyway, that's how we do that too. I'm going to my mother's on New Year's Eve, or New Year's, excuse me. Carl's Thrift Away, go by. They can help you out. And LHC Group, all about helping people. You and I went by, I guess, last week to have a little bite at Christmas time to visit our good friend, Mr. Harold Taylor, at their new office complex here on Heather Drive. LHC Group, they've moved the palliative care, the hospice care, a lot of the home nursing people are all in that one building here on Heather Drive next door.
Beautiful facility.
Oh, excellent
Great
place.
addition to Opelousas.
And
thanks, Ginger and Keith and all the stockholders of LHC
And it's
Group.
all adjoining the Health and Wellness Center right
Which
there
they
next
also
door
own.
that they own as well. And don't forget about them for all your nurses, your therapists, and all the equipment you may need for home health needs throughout the entire United States. They can help you out if you got family out of the state. Louisiana Healthcare Group.
Another person who died actually on Wednesday, December the 25th, last Christmas Day. And that's William, better known as Bill Davis. Bill Davis started a chain of restaurants. I don't see the name of it right here, but he was also one of the founders of the Ice Gators. And the way I met him, I didn't know him well, but I was in his company a number of times, and he was personal friends, and he and my late friend Nick Fakuri owned a camp over at Sycamore Point years ago. That's correct. And there was one other person from Lafayette also. Oh, I can't think of his name. He died. I went to the funeral home. I remember that. But Bill Davis from Lafayette, our sympathies. Also a person who died, and I wasn't able to attend, and I saw him on a regular basis over at the country club when I go to have lunch with Lee Young. I try to do that once a week, have that lunch with Lee and his family and friends, and that was Dr. Selden Desertel, Sr. Dr. Desertel was a regular there, and in his later years, after he had closed his practice down, he lived right near the country club, so he was there quite often, and I got to know him and hearing the story about he came from a very modest family, poor like most of us, from the country, worked in the rice fields to make some money to attend college, and became a successful doctor here in Opelousas. Our sympathy to the family.
Was a veteran and very supportive of veteran events. Anytime I went to a veterans event, he was there. But we're going to take a 1-minute break, folks. We're going to see you on the other side of one for more pictures and fun.